This TikTok star got kicked off a plane because she thought she was doing the Lord's work. Let's talk about the psychology behind that. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Jesse of Lyon Mental Health, licensed counselor, trauma hypnotherapist, and dream interpreter. And today we're talking about TikTokers. And as a TikToker myself, I can confirm we're all terrible human beings. No, we're not terrible human beings, but you got to admit there's something about being a social media influencer that either brings out the worst in you or attracts the worst kind of people. And you can't get away from either one of those. I mean, I even find myself having to balance things sometimes because too many people together breeds bad things. You ever notice that? Like as things grow, like you start a community and it's nice. It's this niche little thing. It's like this special little place where you can go to be safe. And then as it grows, it gets more complicated and then it just gets blah. Social media, I feel like, is that way. Facebook was cool back in the day, and now there are too many damn people on Facebook. I hate it. I can't stand it. I know there's a lot of great monetization opportunities on Facebook, but you've probably noticed yourself using Facebook even less because there's so many people on there, and the more people, the more problems. You know, the rappers got it wrong. I don't think it's mo money, mo problems. I think it's mo people, mo problems. And sometimes if you got mo money, it means mo people around. So let's talk about this TikToker. She's on a plane, and I'm reacting to a great video by one of the best YouTubers. I love him so much, Atozy. And Atozy made this video about a TikToker who got humbled by a flight attendant. And I want to talk a little bit more about the psychology behind it. And I want to get your opinion. So let's go.
She's in a music group that was recently nominated for a Grammy, and unfortunately for the entire plane, Bobby felt the need to flex on a bunch of tired travelers. And by not only announcing this, but also making a massive scene on the flight. So after the flight was massively delayed, it was taxiing, but then they had to return to the gate, she decided to go up in the front of the plane and start talking to the entire plane. And this is where this video started, where the flight attendant got onto her.
It's just so weird to me, like people can be so presumptuous. Like, where do you get the gall? And this goes back to the video I posted just the other day about cringe. Like, what this TikToker is about to do is so fucking cringe, right? But those people who don't have like a cringe meter inside of them end up doing these ridiculous things that's like, you kind of should be embarrassed about this. And here's the thing, right? Before you get on me of like, well, here's a counselor talking about you should feel embarrassed. Yes, but it's different than shame. Now, if nobody's ever told you this, let me add something a little bit here. And this is going to be important for the rest of this video as we watch this cringe fest about to unfold. Embarrassment is fine. When you make a mistake, when you feel guilty even, it's a realization that, oops, I messed up. I need to do better next time. That's a good thing for growth. Mistakes are great, and we should celebrate those mistakes, not that we made them, but from the learning opportunities that come from that. Now, shame is a different thing. Shame says, I'm a bad human being, and nobody should feel shame. Shame is not a helpful emotion. Brene Brown is a great person. Maybe you've heard of her, right? Who researches shame, and she's a qualitative researcher, and she's been on Oprah. She was in Oprah's book club, all this stuff. You know, let me know if you want a link to her book. Shame is not helpful. You shouldn't feel like a bad person, but feeling guilty is a helpful corrective emotion. And you see oftentimes TikTokers, social media stars, don't feel any cringe. It's like that part of them is missing. And now I'm not diagnosing anybody, but that cringe factor is missing. That shame piece, that guilt piece is missing. Guilt in particular, not shame, I misspoke, is missing from certain types of mental health diagnoses. Those with antisocial, those with narcissistic, and some other ones as well. Those personality disorders don't have that guilty sort of feeling. They don't feel remorse. They don't feel regret. They don't feel or ever admit that they make mistakes. And that's why they can be so toxic in relationships, right? When not well. Again, I want to say that. No shame. Each of these people have amazing things to offer. And even those personality types, those personality disorders are actually beautiful and amazing people that have wonderful things to offer the world. We can talk about that more. Let me know if you want another video on it. But you can see when not balanced well, when expressed in an unhealthy manner, you get the video that we're about to see. And so I want to work through this. Again, not diagnosing her, but it's an interesting topic to bring up when it comes to social media influencers and the way they interact. It's unique and it lends itself to viral popularity online. Just watch this.
I'm starting right now on the rail line. I can sit down and I'll sit and drink water.
Sit down, be quiet.
I'll sit down. The seatbelt signs off. Seatbelt signs off.
Where do you
It's not
get
a
the gall?
disturbance. Once you hit, it's right here, babe. I am. I'm gonna have a seat. Okay, so watch me bless him.
Now watch what happens next. She says, now watch me bless him. Here's what will happen with somebody who doesn't have feelings of embarrassment, who doesn't have feelings of cringe. Those type of individuals will do things, right, and expect a response from the audience. They have no embarrassment about these things. They have no cringe about these things. And so because it's so awkward for those around them, in order to escape the embarrassing and awkward situation, will follow along with whatever's expected, right? So here I am doing this crazy thing. I'm expecting you to be excited and proud of me for doing this thing that's kind of gross. And because I don't see anything wrong with it, and you have that cringe feeling, right? You don't have this struggle with social emotional reciprocity. In order to escape, you'll follow along with the narrative that I'm telling you. And so watch, in a moment, the rest of the plane will clap, even though I guarantee everyone on that plane is uncomfortable with the situation that's going on. They're going to clap for her because they're like, I'm just going to play along because I wish I didn't exist right now. Watch this happen.
So I used to sing on planes a long time ago. I just found out I'm up for 2 Grammys. My very first time, you guys. My name is Bobby Storm.
You see the applause? You're like, oh, good. Oh, very nice job. That's great. Yay. Good. Stop. Maybe if I play along, she will stop. Nope. It fuels it. And this is why any therapist worth their salt, when they're telling you how to leave a narcissist, will talk about the gray rock method. And the gray rock method is give zero response. If you don't feed either positive or negative into the situation, you take away that connection that they're looking for from you. And it's the best way to navigate difficult and toxic relationships with somebody who doesn't have that empathy and who doesn't have that cringe and embarrassment. You can't appeal to that in certain types of individuals. This is something I work with as a therapist, you know? And again, I want to say, once this type of person is healthy, once somebody with these struggles recovers from them, like, they are just beautiful, amazing, and inspiring individuals. Many great leaders are narcissists. Many incredibly talented artists, and even people who have wildly amazing things, inventions to offer the world, are antisocial. So it's not about shaming these people. It's just recovering, being healthy, and learning how to navigate and treat other people with respect.
And I'm up for 2 Grammys. I sing for the Lord, and my song is out on all platforms. It's called We Can't Forget 'Em. Michael McDonald cleared it. Warren G is on the original record as well. It's with Regulators. I want to share this with you guys. I wanted to do it when I first got on the plane, but I was like, I haven't done this in a while.
I swear this is worse than The Office, right? This is so cringy. And you can see she's just eating it up. She scooched more and more out of her chair. Like, watch her body language. She gets more and more pumped up. The quieter it gets, the more that people are brought into and sucked into this moment because it's so cringy and embarrassing, the more that she takes it as affirmation to keep talking. And that's the problem. Now, the flight attendant is put in a difficult situation. The flight attendant is going to have to say something because they are in the position of authority. And this person who doesn't have cringe, who doesn't have embarrassment, is trying to take that authority because, as narcissists do, they need the adoration of those around them. They want that place of authority. And so you're going to see her try and take that authority. And the unfortunate thing is it has to end in a fight. You have to confront that usurp of authority in order to get it to stop and put that person back in their place, because they'll run all over it. So here, watch what happens.
I've gotten to the next status, so.
Are you able to be quiet?
But they're enjoying it. So while we're sitting here, could I please?
I'm not in.
Do you see? But they're enjoying it. She's taking it as validation. All right.
So while we're sitting here, could I please?
I'm not enjoying it. So I'm asking you, can you be quiet?
Okay, well,
Get it.
I'll find that up.
That's a yes or no answer, please.
Am I going to go to jail if I don't?
Can you please answer my question? Are you willing and able to be quiet right now?
I'm doing what the Lord is telling me to do.
I'm asking you a question, yes or no. I'm your flight leader. I need you to follow.
And so you can see, right? Watch this pecking order take place. God, it's beautiful. It's textbook, right out of the DSM, right out of my psychology classes in grad school. I should do a lecture on this. Flight attendant tries to put in authority, right? She's trying to take authority. Flight attendant says, no, I'm the authority on this plane. You need to follow the rules. We're all trying to get where we need to go. So she says, I'm doing God's will, right? So it's bumping up that authority. No, no, no. I'm the authority. And so you can see there's going to be this pecking order until you have to crush that down.
Follow my instructions.
Okay.
My instructions for you to answer my question. Are you able to be quiet?
What do you guys think?
It's almost like she's asking if
What do you guys think? Oh, no. And so you can see, okay, all right. I want power. I'm the power on this plane. No, God told me to do this. Nope. I'm on this plane. I'm in charge of this plane. Nope. The other people want me to do it. So bump, 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 all the way up. And this is why, right? This is why when you are a people pleaser, when you are accustomed to backing down and just placating people, it can be so dangerous. Because the more that you feed into this, the more that they take it as authority, the more that they take it as permission, right? And even like reason to do these things. And so you have to fight this through to the end to get it to stop and to make things orderly and put in place. Because if you don't, they will take that control. And then the reason you do this is they'll unfortunately end up hurting people, right? And they'll take this as their opportunity to do what they want. And that ends up really hurting those who are around them. There's a reason for order. There's a reason for systems and for authority in different situations. You cannot have authority in every situation. You need to respect those who are in those places of leadership, who are there in the right context.
I'm asking you, ma'am.
I'm asking you guys. What do you guys think?
Okay. If you're not able to follow my instruction, you will not be taking this flight.
Okay.
Are you able to be quiet?
If that's
There you go. There you go. This guy is nailing it. You gotta execute absolute authority. No, if you cannot follow the rules, this is my domain. This plane is my domain. You will have to leave this domain if you want to be in charge. You can be in charge back in the airport. Well handled. Don't back down.
the case, then that's fine. If you were the
So that's
person
yes?
in charge of it all.
I'm your flight leader, yes.
If you're the person in charge
Okay.
of it all, then that's
Okay,
fine.
all right, thank you.
So I'll sing it on the low for y'all in the back.
Oh, I'll sing it all alone for you in the back. And see, even when you do that, they're gonna try and find like, okay, maybe there's a loophole, maybe there's a way around it, right? There's no compromising here, right? It has to be black and white. And what's interesting is, unfortunately, that's a very childlike way of thinking things. Kids think in black and white, and an untreated personality disorder also thinks in black and white. There's no gray, right? Kids, I either get the cookie that I want or I'm having the worst day ever. If I don't get the cookie, this is a terrible day. Reality is you might not get the cookie and you could still have a pretty badass day. It's great, right? But this is the way. If I don't get my way, the whole flight is over. I'm going to find a way anyway. Even if you tell me no, I'm still going to do it. And that's a dangerous thing. You can see how this becomes very problematic and very dangerous, and why you have to fight it through to the end. And so for any of my people pleasers out there, put it in the comments down below. Let me know. Does understanding this greater narrative, does understanding how important it is to fight these fights give you the fuel and motivation? You're not just standing up for yourself. This is a precedent that you have to set for the world, for them, for your community. You're being a part of an important system here by standing up and showing and sticking to clear boundaries.
All right. So the song is called We Can't Forget Them. All right. And you can download it.
Listen, I haven't watched this full video yet. I just knew we had to react to it together. I can't believe she's still going. Oh my God. I wonder how many followers she has. If anyone can find her, look up how many followers she has. Where is this ego coming from? I mean, I guess she's getting a Grammy, so maybe that's where it comes from.
I don't know the issue. No one else has ever had an issue, but it's Father.
Oh, it's so cringy. Make it stop. It's so bad. Oh my God. Are you as uncomfortable as me?
Thank you for each day in my life. I realize.
Kick her off the plane. Kick her off the plane. Make it stop today. It's the religious piece that gets me the most too. The appeal of like, this is what God wants me to do. And so that ultimate authority, God has spoken to me. And if you halt me from singing this song, you are violating against God. You are an agent of the devil. You work for the enemy. Oh, that's the part. It's just that it's like, there's this appeal to fantasy. There's this appeal to make-believe imagination that they think like transcends all regular logic. And so there's no arguing with delusion. That's the problem. You just have to follow through with consequences. It's the only way that there's a hope of learning. And at the most, like at the very least, you have to follow through with consequences because there are 100 other people at least on that flight that need to be protected. We have a responsibility to protect others who are trying to do the right thing. And that's where it gets for me. I cannot not feel a responsibility. I know it's a double negative, but I have to feel a responsibility to protect those others who need to be protected. And that's just where my heart is.
People like that, you know, they spirits a little, they can't accept it, but I'm here to spread what God needs me to spread. Hey, you guys, it's rest day for me, so the hair is looking a little crazy, but
we're still going. We made a follow-up video. I wonder who recorded the original one. Was it the person sitting next to them? Like, that's wild. I wonder if that was their friend or just like the poor person who's like sitting next to them on the plane. Oh my God.
I wanted to follow up with you guys on Delta. They did reach out to me. So whoever called, I can't say thank you because I don't want this man to be reprimanded.
Oh, she's so gracious. She's such a angel. Such an angel. Doesn't want them to be reprimanded.
Where he loses his job, I simply want us to keep in mind how to treat each other. And there was no rules being broken. And it was just me spreading my joy with people after they gave me the go to do so.
Nobody gave you the go. Nobody gave you the go. This again, delusion, right? We're in our imagination here.
So I just hope that if he watches this, he's able to learn a valuable lesson on how to treat other people. But I just want to say you guys can stop reaching out to Delta. They have apologized.
Were her followers reaching out to Delta? That's the problem. Like when people do this authority thing and then they get a following and then it's like a culty following, there's just this weaponized mass of individuals. That's like, they think that numbers equal power, which in some ways it does, but it doesn't mean that they're right. Oh, it's a little scary, right?
And they are fans of Maverick City. So the best way you guys can support me. So I want to share with you guys my point of view and everything that happened on this flight. So we got on a plane, we all boarded, but the music was so loud in the speakers. They were playing top 40 on the speakers. And I had this unction to sing for people because I've sang on a lot of flights before. And I do know the rules from doing that. As I'm sitting in my seat, I'm telling my neighbor, I really want to get up and sing.
So the neighbor wasn't, so the person recording wasn't actually like a friend. It was just a neighbor, just a random person. Oh, could you imagine? I would die. I don't know. I'm a therapist, right? So like, I'm such a people pleaser at heart in many ways, right? But I'm like, I want to be excited for you because I've got a lot of empathy, but at the same time, don't do this. Oh my God. I'd probably pull out my phone and record it too. I'm like, this YouTube content. I tell you what.
On this flight, and she's like, sing on a flight, and I'm like, yeah, I used to do.
See, she's like sing on a flight. How about you just shut the fuck up?
That back in the day, and I'm feeling it right now. I haven't done it in years, but I'm feeling like sharing my joy with people because I just got nominated for the first time.
Pay attention to that. Pay attention. Sorry, I got to call that one out. I feel called to share my joy with other people, or I feel like sharing my joy with other people. This is another one of those toxic things that can happen untreated. Now, again, not diagnosing anybody, not saying what she is. That's for her therapist. But as a general topic here, what you will see oftentimes is this assumption that other people feel what I feel. This assumption that I feel joyful. So by singing and showing my joy, that will bring other people joy. That's clearly not true. We know that's not the case, right? As somebody with empathy, you get that, right? Somebody who struggles with empathy struggles with cringe, struggles with embarrassment. They don't feel those emotions. They're not going to understand that. And what's mind-blowing is those people with the lowest amount of empathy will often call themselves empaths because they're not actually feeling empathy. They just assume that everybody else feels the same way that they do. And they're so like, I'm intuitive. I can feel what they're feeling. No. You're projecting, which is something that as therapists, we are taught very much not to do. Right? It's the same thing that happens in dreams. They're projections of our unconscious emotions. And so that's why when we see like an ex in our dreams, that's not actually your ex. It's an unconscious projection of the emotion that's related to your ex. And that's why you have to interpret dreams. That's why people with like narcissism, antisocial think that they're empaths when they're really, really not. They're just projecting their emotions onto others and thinking they're intuitive when they're just feeling themselves. It's kind of like emotional masturbation. You see what I'm saying?
For a Grammy. And she was like, okay, do it when we land. And I was like, well, when we land, everybody's going to be standing up. So the people in the front won't be able to see me, hear me.
Trying to negotiate,
and
see?
that's just not what's on my spirit.
You can't negotiate.
If God wants it to happen, it'll happen. I took my pillow, put it on the front of the chair, and I started to go to sleep while we were taxiing. And all of a sudden, they made an announcement and said, we have to go back to the gate. There's a brief maintenance issue. So for those of you with a connection, you have the option to
First
get
of all,
off,
that's terrifying.
or whatever the case may be, but we have to go back to the gate. I knew instantly that was God. Now, because I've sang in so many different public places, I've never felt nervous around anyone. But this was...
Oh, she just said it. She just said it. I've never felt nervous around anyone. It's not normal. That's not normal. It's okay to not be normal. And you can see why this person would be incredibly gifted as a speaker, as an artist, as a performer, right? Imagine the gumption, the gall, the charisma, the riz that you would have if you never felt embarrassed in front of other people, if you never felt nervous in front of other people. Nervousness is a normal human emotion, right? Somebody who doesn't feel nervousness gives me cause to believe and would make me want to talk with their therapist. Does this person have a personality problem, right? And so you can see there's no embarrassment with these people. And so this is where you see a lot of TikTokers, influencers, Instagrammers, YouTubers who do crazy stuff that you're like, how do they do that? It's because they don't feel the same emotions that you would feel in that situation. Those emotions are absent.
God, and I knew it. So, you know, we have revelations, and then we have moments where we feel the presence of God. But to know he came and saw about me right there and was like, he literally was like, I'm going to make this happen. I was nervous. I felt like I wanted to poop my pants. Like, I literally was like...
She's projecting, right? She knows that she's supposed to feel nervous, but she doesn't. No, I'm not buying that one.
Shaking. So instantly when it happened and he made the announcement, I knew, since I fly a lot, that we would end up having the opportunity and the freedom to get out of our seats and for our seatbelt sign to be off and safety would not be a matter. And so I was just like, okay, this is God. And I'm just like nervous. So
there's the perceptual bias, right? There's the narrative, right? I've got this narrative in my head and I'm going to interpret everything that happens through that narrative. Anything that would have happened next would have been a sign from God that she should do that. Somebody drops their drink on the floor. Somebody sneezes, right? Oh, there's the sign. This is why you shouldn't look for signs, like if you should date somebody or not. You'll see what you want to see. I mean, maybe you should look for signs because you'll figure out your emotions, right? Oh, God, give me a sign if I should date them. And then you'll see something and be like, that was the sign. This is a fucking sign, right? Get what I'm saying?
So I just go into prayer and I'm like, Father God, I know that this is you, Lord. So please speak through me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And then the rest of this is history, y'all. I mean, Delta, you could hook me up with some miles or something. But no, I'm just kidding. But
the assumption, I did this lame thing on a flight. You should give me some miles on your flight, actually. I'm the victim.
Thank you for holding yourself accountable. And, let's really, really lead with love, y'all.
Here's another thing. It also makes me wonder, she doesn't share what the actual call was about. She says Delta called and apologized or something, or at least she's implying that. Yeah. Oh, well, it's right here on the little card, right? Delta reached out and apologizing. I'm not recording anyone without their permission. Classic stuff. I doubt Delta apologized, right? She blew it up online and they probably needed to talk it through, but she interpreted it again through her cognitive bias saying, oh, they called and apologized. They probably didn't. If they did, they were very silly, right? But you'll see them craft this narrative even when that's not actually what's happening. So it gives me a lot of skepticism about that. Let me know what you think.
I mean, we could live so much longer if everybody just lived in love and peace and joy.
If everybody just did what they were supposed to do, what is this, happier and longer. I'd live happier and longer if you didn't cause my flight to be delayed by trying to have a Grammy performance on my goddamn flight. Sit down, put your noise canceling headphones on, and let me get to where I'm gonna be, right? that is non-consensual. You singing in that plane, I did not consent to like having that happen. I consented to be on a flight. I didn't ask for this performance. I may not like your music. Shocker, right? Oh my God.
Joy, you know, who you believe in, it's your choice. But I know who I believe in, and I know I have to be bold for that.
Well, that is the end of that roller coaster. Let me know what you think below. While you're there, hit subscribe, and that's all I got to say about that. Do you agree or disagree? I'll see you in the next video.